Should white men just build, maintain, and run their own airport? I'd be quite happy to use that airport personally. I think most people would, actually.
Cool. I love how you're all just saying it. This used to be the call people out for being racist in like the 90s, you know? If someone was like, yeah, I'll be honest with you, like I got nothing against like Jewish people, but ain't no way I'm getting in a plane with a Jewish pilot. You're like, wait, what did you just say? I know there's been some documentation, and by some I mean a fuck ton of documentation, of right-wingers who are desperate to say the N-word. I would say almost exclusively white right-wingers. I don't see this coming from a lot of other right-wingers of color, for example, but white right-wingers seem obsessed with the necessity to say the N-word, and their desire to suddenly, I guess, reclaim it for the white supremacists because they feel they lost something. They're very sad about this.
In case we missed it, he played it again. And we did miss it. We all missed it because the it in this case didn't happen. It's totally imaginary. The ring camera audio isn't the best audio, obviously, so the delivery guy's words at the end of that clip are garbled. But it's very clear simply from the tone of the interaction that he didn't say the N-word. Like, if you were tempted to believe that maybe it happened before listening to it, you would assume that okay, well, maybe something like that could have happened if there was some sort of argument, if he was angry, if they were yelling at each other, the pizza was late and the guy yells at him and he cusses him out and they cuss and then he dropped but no, that's not what happened. It's totally normal and friendly interaction.
What ring footage? All right, let's see what he's referencing. Ring footage, Matt Walsh N-word should be enough. It's going to destroy my search history. The hacker who hijacked Matt Walsh's Twitter and turned him into a sassy shooter. No, that's not it. That's not the story I'm looking for.
In fact, he was far friendlier than the average customer service worker is these days. Just simply by offering a greeting and not...
Okay, so my read on this so far is that Matt Walsh watched a video where there was someone who was recorded on a ring call who said the N-word to someone else, and Matt Walsh is defending, I believe, the person who said the N-word. I think that's the gist I'm getting here.
Being outwardly hostile and surly to the paying customer, he has already set himself apart from the baseline customer service standard. If I ran the Pizza Hut in Oxford, Mississippi, I would give that guy, I'd make him employee of the month. Just based on that interaction, because it's like, well, I mean, look, the standards are as low as they can get. I mean, the bar is pretty low, but at least he's being friendly. And we're supposed to believe that somehow the N-word was dropped at the very end of that clip, which would mean that the delivery driver said, this is what he would have said as he was handing over the pizza. Here we go, appreciate you. Let me just grab a signature if you don't mind, N-word. So the claim, I guess, is that this Pizza Hut delivery guy just casually uses the N-word with customers as a greeting. Because that's what it would be. Like, if he actually said it there, then that's how, he didn't even mean it as an insult.
But sorry, is he white? Yeah. If he's anything other than black to another black person, that's not okay. Like, it's the nice one though. He's being friendly, you know. I mean, I see black people do it all the time. I don't understand. It seems very nice when black people do it to other black people.
This is apparently just this is his way of saying hello.
Oh,
and
if he's white, that's weird as fuck. That's super weird. I'm glad someone finally called him out.
That was true. It would mean that at worst, he's guilty of using the N-word the same way that many black people use it.
Oh my God, I was doing a bit. That's what this is. I don't understand the difference. I don't get it. Why does it magically change? What does the word mean? and just, I'm sorry, Matt, come on. You're supposed to be the theocratic fascist. You're supposed to be the white supremacist. You're supposed to be the one who revels in this shit. It sounds to me like you just missounds, you know? You're not able to look into the racist ass history of the use of the N-word and the dehumanization, the subjugation, the North Atlantic slave trade. You don't want to learn any of that. too much reading, too much book learnings. You know, you're not even willing to put in the time to be racist properly. You're too lazy to be a proper white supremacist. You know, you're just half-assing white supremacy. Look, I get that we should subjugate the other races. I just don't know why. I haven't figured that part out yet. Okay, but we're superior or something. I'll get to it. I'll get to why we're superior.
This is why we have to be careful here. It's important to point out that
Okay.
the claim is a lie.
All right.
Now, even if it's difficult to hear precisely what word or phrase he uses at the end of the clip, he obviously didn't say the N-word. But even as we call out this hoax for what it is, we should make sure that we aren't tacitly supporting the premise that if the delivery driver had said that word in that context, he would be guilty of some great moral crime. Now, to say that word would be professionally and perhaps even literally suicidal, would be a self-destructive, extremely ill-advised thing to do.
So that's the reason you don't say it publicly. Privately, I'm sure. But publicly, you're like, yeah, I understand. Even amongst the right-wingers, I might get canceled a little bit. A little bit. There's still, I'll still be able to rumble along with the Russell brands, but there are some circles I won't be as welcomed within.
He would be guilty of creating huge problems for himself and getting himself fired. But, no white person actually has any moral obligation to observe the insane, totally indefensible, ridiculous rule that decrees that this word.
Yes. I'm sorry, but yeah, that white people should not be saying the N-word. That one's like, yeah. I don't understand. I don't get it. It's a sound. I mean, we heard the same thing out of Moonlord. Like when Moonlord was trying to defend the use of the N-word, he's like, it's just it's the Spanish word for black. I don't understand. Why can't I use it?
Is acceptable to be used in any and every context by one race, but in no context at all by another.
So it was used by one race to dehumanize another. And the idea of races, that is one that is artificially constructed, and it has been used to justify horrifying atrocities like the North Atlantic slave trade. And in so doing, it was part of a dehumanization project, because in order to treat human beings like cattle, that requires you not see them as fellow human beings. Otherwise, you'd recognize what you're doing is pretty fucked up. So yeah, for centuries and centuries, white people were doing that, which is why it's now considered very unacceptable for white people to use that word. But black people have reclaimed that word to remove it of its vile intent and to use it as a form of solidarity amongst other black people, which is why when non-black people use it, it doesn't matter if they're Asian, it doesn't matter who they are, it's wrong. And yes, especially for white people. So just don't use it. It's not hard. There's a lot of other English words you get to use and say. And again, no one is literally saying that you'll be arrested for saying it, but you won't be free of consequence. People will probably be like, you're a racist. Yeah, if you want to do that, you're a racist.
Right. I mean, the idea that the pigmentation of your skin should determine whether you're allowed to utter certain syllables in a particular combination.
Are you trying to reverse racism, Matt? Are you trying to say that this is discrimination against white people, actually? I just don't understand, right? That if you lack melanin, why suddenly your vocabulary has to change? Is that not its own form of oppression? Dare I say, let my people go.
Is totally absurd. And as far as I know, without precedent in the history of the world, I can't think of any other example.
Let my people, Pokemon Go, say the N-word, is what Matt Walsh is essentially saying here.
Ever, anywhere in the world, where one single word has been imbued with this kind of mystical power. So if he did say it in a friendly way, he would only be doing what millions of people in this country do every day, and it's never considered a problem.
Like, don't say the N-word. Don't say the N-word if you're not black and it's not, yeah, that's just, don't do it, right? If you're straight, you shouldn't be saying the F slur. Yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. It's not complicated stuff, but people who are gay will use the F slur as a form of reclamation, as a way of empowering one another, even though that word has been used to dehumanize them and to be used in usually conjunction with violence towards them, during, beatings, gay bashings, gay draggings, where people were literally dragged to death while being called the F slur, horrifying weaponization of a word to, again, dehumanize a group of people for how they were born. And now gay people use it as a term of endearment and love to one another because it empowers them, because it removes the power of that word in a way I would assume, I'm not black, but I would assume does the same thing, for empowerment when it comes to using a slur that was used to dehumanize them for, again, centuries by white people. And yeah, it's like, you're giving it a lot more power, Matt, in that you feel as if it's like, because like no one's preventing you from saying it, but you want society to be able to say it all the time because you, again, want to bring all this shit back, right? You want to bring back the old days. Yeah, the old, like some people want to bring back the past, and that, like, I miss the 50s. I think America was, I have a weird idealized version of America and what I think America was, and the Leave It to Beaver kind of, like, not husbands beating their wives and then wives being, high on amphetamines to be able to just get through the day without having to hit the bottle and stuff like that. But I have this very idealized version of a white America that was beautiful and pristine. That's some people. I think, like, Matt Walsh is amongst the, like, he just wants to be a plantation owner. Like, just wishes he lived on a big old cotton field and he had to, have himself a series of human beings he could manage, essentially.
But obviously he didn't say it. A white delivery driver who is in the habit of saying the N-word, casually.
So it was a white delivery driver. Yes, very weird, my dude. Stop. If that's your thing, it's like, no. I say it to everyone. It's weird. Why? Why are you doing that?
Would not be employed for very long. Like this would not be the first time we were hearing about this.
All right. Well, that was Matt's first theory. We have more Matt Walsh theories. Should white men just build, maintain, and run their own airport?
Now, the congressman says it's important for racial and gender discrimination in the form of DEI to be a part of everything New York does. But he doesn't really say why. He gets some applause when he says it's good for business, but he doesn't elaborate on that point. And that's probably because, as I've outlined before, it's demonstrably false that DEI is good for business. The only time DEI is good for business is if you're a non-white business and you're looking to get a government payout. In that case, DEI is good for business, sure. For everybody else, it's a massive economic drain at a minimum, and almost certainly also a safety risk. But even if racial discrimination were somehow profitable, that still wouldn't justify it. And it's pretty remarkable that a sitting member of Congress would imply otherwise. Only a deep-seated hatred of white men would explain what we're seeing here. And as if there was any doubt about that, the next speaker at this press conference, a New York Assembly member named Alicia Hindman, came right out and admitted that, yes, that's what's going on. She just hates white men. Watch.
All of the Zoom meetings that we did during the pandemic, led by Dr. Stacey N.C. Grant, your participation means everything. What we didn't want to happen is to go back to the community, and Jim, you know this, and people look at us and say, well, what did you do? No one on that project looks like us. No one in that project represents us. We did not want to have those conversations, and that's why those tireless meetings that took place on Zoom was Microsoft.
How could you stand there? A white person, as she says out loud, she hates white people. You just stood there. You took it. She's saying the words.
WebEx or whatever it was, and it was.
It's another white person laughing behind her, and she advocates for white genocide, and he's laughing. That's the third white person smiling. So, you aren't taking this seriously either.
Bandwidth.
Why are you laughing? Why are all of you laughing?
And you had to turn off the camera or turn off the mic. As annoying as it was, we knew it was for us, by us, to make sure that this community that we represent looks like us.
So the woman can't figure out how Zoom works, apparently, but she...
Sick burn, bro. Yeah, destroyed in the marketplace of ideas. Again, like, I don't get how you can watch this kind of a show, a Matt Walsh show, where it's like, now I'm going to show you footage of a woman basically saying that she wants to kill all white people, that whiteness is a disease like the plague, and that she wants to purge whitey from the face of the earth. Roll it. And then you watch the clip and it's like, we should probably empower black communities and help out by, uplifting our community. Well, there you have it. It's clear as day. You heard it with your own words. Yeah, death to whitey. Basically, verbatim, death to whitey, over and over, chanting. White people in the back smiling, and then they were chanting along, death to whitey too. You saw it.
He's in charge of renovating the airport because, with apologies to white people, the airport isn't for them anymore. It's for people who look like Alicia Hinman now. Quote, we knew it was for us, by us, to make sure this community...
Oh my God. Is he just discovering what FUBU is now? What do you got there? Nice shirt. FUBU. What's that mean? What?
that we represent.
Ribs with. Thank you. If there was an Alex flavor of Jones soda, would you try it? Ew. Ew. And Jones soda's delicious. Ew. For charity, not for curiosity or pleasure.
Looks like us. Now, to be clear, again, she's talking about an airport. This is a public facility that isn't for or by any racial group. And Alicia Hinman is a public official. She supposedly represents a community that includes white people. But here she is proudly declaring that the airport is for black people.
And death to white people, too.
Doesn't include people who don't look like her. So white men don't get to build airports.
So is this all it takes to get, I guess, white supremacists riled up? Like, yeah, that's the thing she said in the clip you played, for sure. She was saying death to the white man. I heard it. Death to all white men. Yeah. First they came for the white men and I said nothing. Then they came for the cis.
Anymore. The airports aren't for them. Neither are construction jobs. You have to wonder what, if anything, these politicians want white men to do. Like, what do you want them to do? What are white men supposed to be doing now? Should they ever receive any funding from the government? Should they be allowed to compete for government contracts on a fair...
Yeah, hey, Matt, if you want, how about a UBI? Why don't we do that? UBI, okay? It will not go down any racial lines. It won't even discuss the issue of race. UBI program, and here's how we pay for it. We pay for it by the richest among you have to pay for it, all right? If you have accrued wealth over a certain amount of money, you can even make it really high, so you don't have to worry about the mid-level richies getting mad. Say you have $10 million worth of assets. Anything higher than that, you start getting taxed the fuck on all of it. Yes, just not new income coming in, not inherited income, just the existence of that income. So if you have over $10 million in assets, doesn't matter what it is, you start getting taxed very heavily on those assets. All that money is used to pay for a UBI program. Corporations too, by the way. Yes, the richest corporations, they got to start helping to pay for the UBI programs too. And then you'll find that it's pretty wild, but it will fall along racialized lines in a lot of cases where you will be giving UBI to people who need it the most and are very impoverished sometimes, again, along racialized lines. Weird in America and Canada how that happens. A lot of indigenous communities could do with UBI programs in Canada for sure. So there you go. You don't have to worry about it. You know, we could say this is like a Trojan reparations, you know, that Matt Walsh doesn't even have to think about.
Equal playing field? Apparently not. Should white men just build, maintain, and run their own airport? I'd be quite happy to use that airport personally. I think most people would, actually. Really, though, everyone knows what's happening.
Cool. Like, I love how you're all just saying it. This used to be the shit that you call people out for being racist in like the 90s, you know? If someone was like, yeah, I'll be honest with you, like I got nothing against like Jewish people, but ain't no way I'm getting in a plane with a Jewish pilot. You're like, wait, what did you just say? So yeah, that's real fucked up to say. You don't what? And think. It's weird enough that you think that, but then you thought it and you said it out loud. So cool. Now they just do this. They just say this out loud. It's like I don't trust black pilots. Why? Oh, because what am I supposed to say? Because they were hired for their race and not for their skills. No, you can't do that. See, every single person who's hired to be a pilot, they have to fall under the same qualifications. And those qualifications have a lot more steps than simply what color is your skin. How much melanin did you get? But they'll say it now. It's just all a thing. Every single one.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We first want to give a shout out to everyone who makes this show possible. This program is produced thanks to the generous support of our Patreon supporters: Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbar Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multi Mondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Poppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Bomey, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Travis McClinton, and Words Greenwood. As well as every other person you see on the screen right now, this show would not be possible without them. And if you want to join these wonderful people who make this entire program possible, simply go to patreon.com/theserfs and you can unlock uncensored and bonus episodes and, you know, help us exist.